I'm a big believer that there are no shortcuts in sales, but I do think there are some superpowers that sellers can develop to accelerate their careers. So today I want to walk you through the 5 superpowers I wish I would have developed earlier in my career. The first one is saying no. This can be walking away from bad deals, bad companies, bad managers. Doing that will speed up deals and accelerate your career. You know what's a bad deal, for example? When you keep seeing deadlines changing, calls keep pushing, the buyer doesn't keep their commitments. It's probably not a priority. It's not a priority for them. Don't make it a priority for you. Step away. You know what's a bad manager or a bad company? When you find it's hard to get out of bed in the morning consistently, and you have conversations with your manager and you leave de-energized. Trust me, there are very few things worse in the sales career than chasing bad deals or consistently working for a bad manager or for a bad company. So if you're feeling these symptoms, learn to say no. Number 2 is clear writing. Your writing can be in the room with your buyers when you aren't. Great writing wins deals and poor writing loses them. The biggest mistakes I see sellers make in writing is they're way too formal, they're too complicated, or they're too long. If you've ever been on an email thread with executives, you'll see they're super punchy, a lot of bullet points, very, very quick and informal. And so the ways to get better at writing are 1, practice. Journaling can be great. Posting on LinkedIn or Twitter is a great way to get feedback on your writing. If it's good, people will notice. If it's not, you'll be ignored. And then another way that you can do this is handwriting. Copying good writers' writing with handwriting helps reinforce good habits. And then finally, take writing courses. I've invested a good amount of time and money in writing courses over the last couple of years, and it's made a huge difference for my career as a seller. And also as a sales leader, not to mention all the benefits from building a brand on LinkedIn and other channels. The third superpower is natural curiosity. A well-trained but robotic rep will lose to a more raw but curious rep almost all the time. And the 2 tips I'll give you on natural curiosity are 1, be prepared but not over-planned. You want to go into a conversation with some questions planned, some talk tracks figured out, but you don't want to force the conversation. You want to have the flexibility to adapt the conversation where the buyer sometimes takes it. And you get that by not scripting or over planning the conversation. Then the second one is just learning how to pause more. You'd be amazed to see at how much your buyer will share when they answer a question partially, and instead of you jumping in and going to the next or forcing the conversation in a different direction, if you just wait, they'll give you more. Which leads right into number 4, embracing silence. In a profession where everyone talks, there's a lot of power in shutting up. And so my tip for this one is just do it. Number 5 is emotional storytelling. How buyers feel in conversations with you will drive decisions significantly more than the facts you share. You've heard the phrase, I'm sure, people will forget what you tell them, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. That's not just about how you build friendships and relationships, it's also how you sell. It's the emotions you want somebody carrying with them into the post-meeting debrief, into calls with the team that will lead them to be slightly more favorable for your solution than the competitors. And so when you're planning your conversations, when you're planning what case studies or proof points to bring to the conversation, think a little bit less about what happened in this situation and think more, why would my buyer care? Focus on the elements they care about, and you're more likely to strike an emotional chord. So those are the 5 superpowers. 1, saying no, and that's to deals, companies, and bad managers. 2, get better at clear writing and articulating your thoughts well through the written form. 3, be naturally curious. 4, embrace silence. And then 5, learn to tell stories in an emotional way to capture and retain attention for your buyers. If you found this video helpful, let me know I'm going the right direction by leaving a like on this video. Then, if there are any questions or topics you want to make sure I cover in a future video, leave me a comment. I read all comments and I love recommendations that will help me help you sell more. Finally, don't forget to subscribe. That way you won't miss any of my upcoming content that I'm creating to help you improve the way that you sell.